Hi, and welcome to Real Food Real Fast. I'm health coach Angelle Batten, and I am here with
Chef Jackie White from PrepLikeAChef.com.
So in this episode, we are talking with you about how to choose the best oils and friendly fats, as I call them, and how to really crowd out the really unhealthy fats. So let's talk about, first of all, why this is so important. This is one of the first changes that I have my clients make, is to really crowd out the unhealthy fats. So we're talking about if you have an oil that you put it in the refrigerator for 24 hours and it's still completely liquid at the end of 24 hours, you really probably want to get it out of your kitchen. So we're talking those vegetable oils and canola oil, soy oil. They're polyunsaturated, they're highly inflammatory, so any health condition pretty much has an inflammatory component to it, and we want to we want to cool the fire in our body. So we want to get out the...
It's a major problem.
And it's in processed foods everywhere. So even if you are not using it in your kitchen, but if you're eating processed foods, you're getting it into your system. So you want to control that as much as possible.
Right. So anywhere you can control it, you can control it, because you're going to be in situations where you can't.
Yes. So friendly fats are really healthful, and you want to incorporate as many of those as you can. So let's talk about our favorite friendly fats and how we use them. So what I use the most is butter. I mean, butter, finally, in the mainstream even, we're coming back to the fact that butter is a healthy option. Saturated fat is not evil. It's not contributing to all these health issues the way we really were brainwashed for so many years. But you want to get a really good quality butter that comes from cows that are out on pasture, grass-fed. So put a little bit more money into your friendly fats because they're that important. So grass-fed butter, love it. So what do you want to say about grass-fed butter other than it's delicious?
I love it, but I tend to use the other version of grass-fed butter, Ghee. Mm-hmm. Because ghee is butter with the milk fat removed from it, so it has a higher smoke point. So I can use this both cold and hot applications.
Yeah, and people who have a sensitivity to either lactose or casein usually are fine with ghee because those elements are removed.
And they love it because it tastes so amazing.
Yeah.
And for years they thought, oh, I have upset stomach, I can't eat this, I can't do that. And now they have something they can have.
And it's pretty healing. I say it's healing, but it's good for you. So you want to...
you can actually saute in ghee because once the milk fat's removed, it has a higher smoke point.
Okay. But with animal products, the key is, how was the animal raised? What was the animal eating? Did the animal have some fresh air and sunlight? I mean, sometimes it sounds crazy, to us.
You are what they eat?
Yeah, you want a healthy animal because they're going to produce healthier products. So that's why I always say with animal products, including these friendly fats, you want to invest a little bit more money. You can't peel off the junk, And
it's, honestly, you're not going to be eating this by the tablespoonful.
Well, have you not been to my house and seen my boys?
But it's so much more flavorful when it is a high quality product. So build your foundation before you build your meal.
Love it.
Have a better foundation.
Okay, one of our other friendly fats is also saturated fat, like butter and ghee. But like we said, saturated fat is not bad. It's actually good. We need it. Coconut oil. So coconut oil has become very mainstream.
Very mainstream. I love it. I literally drink it in my coffee.
Yes.
Alzheimer's runs in our family. They haven't proven anything, but they are leaning towards coconut. It's being studied, so I figure it won't hurt me. It could help me.
It's a great source of fuel for the brain, and that's why it's being studied. It's easily utilized by the brain. So it's antibacterial, antiviral.
And it's awesome because I always like thickness to my coffee, like cream, which isn't as good for you as this. So I put it in the blender with this, and it creates that frothy thickness for me that I enjoy in a latte without adding other things, so that I can keep it nutrient dense.
Yeah, and we also sometimes add coconut oil and grass-fed butter to tea, or my husband will add it to coffee.
Crazy.
So yeah,
it's
crazy
delicious.
Good.
I know it is crazy, and people are like, "What?" And you're like, "Try butter in your coffee, you'll never go back."
So good. So you have avocado oil, which I really haven't used very much. So tell us about avocado oil, because that's another friendly fat and a good oil.
So the reason I started using avocado oil is basically my doctor told me to, but the biggest reason was taste. I wanted to make my own mayonnaise and things that are thick. As you can tell, I'm all about texture, and it seems like when you're going healthy or nutrient dense, things lean towards thinner. But I like
you want
thicker.
it to be creamier,
I want
thickier.
I want to have mayonnaise in my diet. I want to have some of these things, and so I use this to make mayonnaise. Either half coconut oil melted with avocado oil and then blend my mayonnaise because it doesn't have that really potent flavor that olive oil does.
Yeah.
So I use this both for hot and cold applications.
Okay.
Because it is a light taste, so it works great for cold applications such as dressings or mayonnaise. But it's awesome for hot because the smoke point is 520 degrees. Not that I would ever probably cook something at that.
Because when when an oil reaches a smoke point, then it becomes damaged, and then it crosses over from a healthy fat to an unhealthy fat.
So you've just made your own hydrogenated oil.
You've done something to it, and it's not going to be healthy. So you want to make sure, saturated fats are more stable. Avocado oil, you're telling us, is more heat stable. And then we have extra virgin olive oil, which is a monounsaturated fat. So if I put this in the refrigerator, it's not going to be solid like our saturated fat. It's not going to be liquid like the canola oil or soy oil or the polyunsaturated. It's gonna thicken up a little bit.
It's tight. I would say it's almost like butter that is out of the fridge. It's soft enough to spread, but you're not going to pour it on your salad.
It's a bit lower of a heat point, so it's not as stable.
So if I use this in the oven, I would probably bake it 300 to 325 and just bake for a longer time because it is nice. It's fluid, it's quick, it's easy, as opposed to other things that you might have to melt to use for your oven items.
And I tend to not even heat it. That's just something.
Right, because it's a great product.
I tend to not heat it and use it more for cold applications and kind of,
use it for dressing.
Yeah, and some people actually don't love olive oil. You really have to go for a good quality because a lot of the olive oils, from my understanding, can be pretty compromised in their processing, or there can be a blend and they're kind of being passed off as olive oil. So it's another one where you want to spend a little bit more on something that's high quality.
So you want cold pressed, glass jar, dark jar, and you want to store it away from heat, sunlight, artificial light.
Yes, and somebody just told me recently, really high quality ones will have a date, like a processing date on them, so that you can know how old they are. I have to start looking for that, and also processing them in a certain environment where there's not a lot of air.
And then toasted sesame oil, love it. I use it for a flavor enhancer.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just like a teeny little drops. This is for cold applications. So if I want to add it to a stir fry, I do my whole stir fry, pull it off the heat, and then add it. Because this does not have a high smoke point.
This is great. We have a really awesome poppy seed dressing, and we have a little splash of that in there. It's so good.
It's so strange how this little bit can make such a difference.
Yeah.
But it's great to have around. And there's a regular sesame seed oil that's a nice mild flavor, too, that you can use to make mayonnaise.
You want to really invest in high quality fats and oils. Very, very important. Can be very healthy or very unhealthy depending on what you're using. So these are some of our favorites. Visit us at preplikeachef.com, AngelleBatten.com. Lots of good recipes.
Using all these oils.
Yeah, using all these oils. But really, we just want you in the kitchen. We want to get you cooking.
Real food, real fast.